Hi, it's Tony Marino, host of the super popular NEWSMAX Daily Podcast, a rundown of the day's top headlines and top highlights of NEWSMAX shows and interviews you may have missed, plus some sports, stock markets, and even some yucks, all packed into about 20 minutes. Search for the NEWSMAX Daily with me, Tony Marino, on your favorite podcast platform, and check out our entire lineup of great podcasts, including Greg Kelly, Rob Carson, and Jerry Callahan at newsmax.com/listen.
Now, you are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
So with all of that, I just want to tell you the country has never been in better shape. We went through this short-term disaster with the Democrats because they thought it would be good politically. And it's an honor now to sign this incredible bill and get our country working again.
There you go, baby. Come on. Yeah. Sign that thing. Come on, sign that thing. Sign that thing. And here's the Democrats.
I can't f***ing believe it. They caved on the shutdown. Democrats, you sold out the entire shutdown not to get what you wanted.
The shutdown may have been long and painful for millions of Americans, but at least it achieved jack squat.
And we are on day 41 of the Trump government shutdown. Yeah. Democrats drew a line in the sand. They said, we are not going over this. And today, after 41 days, they pulled out a shovel and a bucket, and they ate all that sand.
Yes, they did. This is a turning point. This could be the turning point. Here's Jim Gossett as the Prezi.
Supreme Court just ruled for me. Injunctions now a history. The market just hit an all-time high.
50,000.
Told NATO they must be fair.
What?
They've got to pay a bigger share. I caught CNN and another lie.
I know.
I made a trade deal with China. Yes, it was quite a tremendous week.
He's kicking butt and taking names.
I have a question that I'd like to ask you. Your answer is something I seek. How do you like me now?
I'm digging it.
How do you like me now?
Pretty darn
now
good
that I'm on a roll, I'm sure that I'll be surging in each and every poll. Brokered a ceasefire.
Yep.
People ask me how.
I know.
Look at what we've done. How do you like me now?
Got a president who does stuff. Isn't that amazing? Instead of pooping his pants
How
in
do
the
you
morning.
like me now?
Instead of having pudding for brains. Oh my God, it's so glorious. It is so amazing. What happens when you have people who want to do something? Because you see, in Washington, D.C., we've had people for the last 50 years doing something for themselves, enriching themselves. Not a man who had to go through so much to get where he is right now. And look what he's doing. I've got a litany of things that he is doing, that the people in his cabinet are doing. It's not like kindergarten roundup when Jill Biden hosted a cabinet meeting dressed like a couch, speaking to them like kindergartners because they are all a bunch of academic retards. Oh my God, you can't say that. Yeah, I can. I just did. Isn't it amazing? Oh my God, it isn't amazing. And they're dying like movie vampires, clawing and dragging and shrieking and trying to drag us into hell with them. Here is Hakeem Jeffries last night. The world was ending.
Fight will end.
God.
Only two ways, Mr. Speaker, that this fight will end. Either Republicans finally decide to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits.
Which you guys sunsetted in 2025, and you just brought it up as an excuse to shut down the government, to hobble Trump's economy, and you freaking failed.
This year, or the American people will throw Republicans out of their jobs next year and end the speakership of Donald J. Trump once and for all.
Okay, yeah, they are, like I said, guys, they are movie vampires, dragging, kicking, and screaming.
So is mine.
Trying to drag us into hell with them. We're not going. We are not going. We are not going into hell with Democrats. Nope, not going to work. That's from the movie Lost Boys. I love that. That's a Gen X classic there. But this until the last minute, this is the Democrat Party. This is why the shutdowns happened. This was just the latest thing. They've had a litany of idiocy that's happened. It started, I actually shared this on social media this morning. Let me go over to the old social media. My social media has been a little bit slow this morning. But I put a list of the things that the Democrat Party has tried to do to C-block. That's a reference to male genitalia that I won't say on the air. But C-block what Donald Trump has done. Here are the things that the Democrat Party has done to C-block Donald Trump. First term, Russia collusion hoax, 98% negative press coverage, impeachment, COVID, record court injunctions to stop agenda, summer 2020, raid of Mar-a-Lago, second impeachment, January the 6th kangaroo court, rigged and stolen 2020 election, removal from all social media. After the rigged 2020 election, 91 indictments, 4 political trials, an attempt to take him off the ballot, 2 assassination attempts. Second term, Signalgate, 98% negative press coverage, no oligarchs protest, Epstein file release, constantly, Elon Musk Doge Tesla dealership terror campaign, no Kings protests, violent ICE protests, record court injunctions to stop his agenda, White House ballroom scandal, Democrat shutdown. And guess what? You failed every damned time. You know why? Because you're intellectually and you're morally bankrupt.
We need to do this while we have the leverage.
Of course, there will be, families that are going to suffer, but it is one of the few leverage times we have.
You reopen the government and we lose our leverage, there has to be an agreement right now. That's what this whole shutdown is about.
Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House.
Remember what I said, the assassination of Charlie Kirk was not a turning point? I said it was the turning point. I'm wondering if we may be at a turning point here, because after 9-10 years of this nonsense, the Democrat Party, they really lost on this. They thought they'd whip out an old favorite, which was government shutdown, blame it on the GOP, and for the first time that I can remember, the GOP wasn't flaccid. And Donald Trump said, nope, we're not doing a damn thing. And we didn't do a damn thing. We said, bullcrap, we are not going to be extorted here. Enough. And guess what? What did they do? They shriveled up and they died.
Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are from New York. They needed to get political cover because the Marxists are taking over the Democrat Party, especially in their state.
They are.
And they're worried about their next reelect. That is 100% what this was about from the very beginning. We called it out in the beginning and it never changed. They were more afraid of political retribution from the radicals that now run the Democrat Party than they were afraid about taking the food out of the mouths of hungry families, truly, or about having flights canceled around the country, or making the troops and their families worry about where the next paycheck was going to come from. It was a selfish political stunt. It yielded nothing but pain for the American people. And I think the people it's going to be a long time before they forget this.
Hey, I said that sooner or later, their lies, their temper tantrum would not be able to drown out the success of the administration. And they're trying to make it sound like the economy's worse than Joe Biden's when they lied to you about the economy when you were suffering, when Joe Biden was the president, when he went on vacation 45% of the time. And then after he was pulled out of the race because everybody couldn't deny he had dementia. He went on vacation 65% of the time then. Oh, my God. And then they opened the southern border wholesale, and they did all of these things. They enriched illegals. They gave them bank cards. They gave them SNAP benefits. They put them up in $500 hotel rooms. They allowed them to flood the country while you and I suffered, and they thought they'd get away with it. And then they put Kamala Harris as the candidate who was laughable, who was absolutely laughable, and the American people spoke and swept Donald Trump into office, and the Democrat Party thought they'd do the same crap they've done the last 9 years, and I think we've reached a point that America has had enough.
For the past 43 days, Democrats in Congress shut down the government of the United States in an attempt to extort American taxpayers for hundreds of billions of dollars for illegal aliens and people that came into our country.
Oh, I got some news on SNAP benefits. Joe Biden increased the SNAP benefits by 40%. When you hear the amount of fraud, and Brooke Rollins, the ag secretary, is going to overhaul that.
Illegally.
Oh, man.
From gangs, from prisons, from mental institutions.
Yeah.
They wanted to pay them $1.5 trillion.
Yeah, I know.
Which would have really hurt our health care businesses.
Meanwhile, main streets across America are rolling up. Business closed signs weren't even bothering to put out American flags anymore because Joe Biden wrecked the place.
And our recipients.
While getting rich from the Chinese Communist Party and Ukraine.
At levels never seen before. Today we're sending a clear message that we will never give in to extortion, because that's what it was.
Yeah, it was.
They tried to extort. The Democrats tried to extort our country.
There's a new sheriff in town.
In just a moment, I'll sign a bill exactly like we asked Democrats to send us all along, many days ago. This cost the country $1.5 trillion, this little excursion that they took us on. Republicans never wanted a
shutdown. And for the first time in our memory, we didn't bend.
Shutdown and voted 15 times for a clean continuation of funding. There's never been a time when one or the other party ever didn't sign a continuation. It's just a continuation, not a big deal. It's a continuation, and we'll talk later.
Yeah.
Yet the extremists in the other party insisted on creating the longest government shutdown in American history.
Yeah, I know.
And they did it purely for political reasons.
They did. You know, remember when I use the expression, you're not in the position to demand anything? When I say about these punks on college campuses demanding that, speakers are not able to speak, et cetera, you're not in a position to demand anything. And I can tell you right now, the Democrat Party, right now, you're not in a position to demand anything. You just got your ass handed to you. I've got a lot coming up on this. This is a turning point. It is a turning point. And I'm going to continue on this on the other side on this Thursday edition of the Rob Carson Show. Hey guys, it's Carson for Birch Gold. It's that time of year.
New Yorkers made a big mistake. Private property Joran wants to take. He's a fraud, a total Marxist. He's a man without a soul. Of all possessions, the things that you own, he wants control. Total control. Commie, chameleon. He'll take your business right away from you. That's why millions plan to leave New York. They fear the evil that Mom Donnie can do. Commie, chameleon. Anti-Semite, oh how he loves Hamas. Commie, chameleon. Mom Donnie's gains, they will be the residents' loss.
Drugs transported by boat. Venezuela, you best take note. Cartels, they're having fits 'cause they're men. They were blown to bits. The drug boat, it now resides on the ocean floor. The drug boat, Marco says we're gonna take out more. Yes, their lives are in danger if they take another chance. 'Cause drugs, we won't tolerate. Shut it down before it's too late. No drugs a boat that was filled with drugs.
Podcast is everywhere. Go to newsmax.com/listen for details.
Over the past 7 weeks, the Democrats' shutdown has inflicted massive harm. They caused 20,000 flights to be canceled or delayed. They departed so many times, so late. People were hurt so badly. Nobody's ever seen anything like this one. This was a no-brainer. This was an easy extension. But they didn't want to do it the easy way. They had to do it the hard way. And they looked very bad, the Democrats did. They deprived more than 1 million government workers from their paychecks and cut off food stamp benefits for millions and millions more Americans in need. They caused tens of thousands of federal contractors and small businesses to go
because they needed the next thing
unpaid. And the total effect of the damage their antics caused will take weeks and probably months to really calculate accurately, including the serious harm that they did to our economy and to people and to families. So I just want to tell the American people, you should not forget this when we come up.
Yeah, you should be ashamed of yourself. There you go, Democrats. You should be bloody ashamed of yourself. And you know how I know that your message is not resonating with the American people? Well, first of all, you had the most unpopular, the lowest approval rating ever a couple weeks ago. Then came an obvious election on Tuesday in states that are Democrat with a piss-poor candidate for governor in the state of Virginia, by the way. That's why the Karen won this election, unfortunately for the people of Virginia. Honestly, it's gonna suck in Virginia. I'm already thinking, hey, maybe West Virginia. How far out is West Virginia? I'm not kidding. And then, of course, New York City. They think that's somehow a metaphor for the country. That's a joke. Zoran Mande is a joke. They just got a Marxist communist with no life experience voted in Seattle and New York City. Good luck. You're islands of insanity. But listen to this. New York and New Jersey lose hundreds of billions in resident income as Americans flee to low-tax states. If this is going to take off, if Zoran Mandami and AOC are the future of the Democrat Party, why are people not flocking to New Jersey and New York? Why are they not flocking to California? Come on, people. Come on, make some sense out of this. Make some sense out of a new analysis that finds the states of New York and New Jersey have lost billions of dollars from their tax base amid an exodus of residents in recent years. Unleashed Prosperity released a report on Tuesday that showed New York lost $517 billion in resident incomes from 2013 to 2022. New Jersey lost $170 billion in that period, according to the Census Bureau and the IRS. The report covers cumulative gains and losses in each state's resident income as a mover takes their income to another state for subsequent years, not just the first year after their move. The report was first covered by the New York Post. New York and New Jersey combined have lost 2/3 of $1 trillion in net income and purchasing power over the last decade due to moving vans departing these states. This has been one of the greatest wealth losses for one region in American history. New Jersey and New York are being bled to death by low tax rates in the South. New York's losses were the largest of any state, while New Jersey's losses ranked as fourth. The other states that lost the most in resident incomes over that period were California and Hellinoy, hell on earth, Hellinoy. Yeah, there you go. Keep doing what you're doing, Democrats. Keep doing it. Keep the temper tantrum going and keep leaning left, because nobody's moving into your lousy states. Even if your big fat governor stands in the schoolhouse door and tries to keep ICE agents from deporting illegals, or Gavin Newsom runs around the entire world running for president even though his country is going to hell in a handbasket. Keep doing what you're doing. Bravo. I love it. I couldn't have imagined you would do so much failure. I mean, honestly, when you chose Kamala Harris, you may recall if you listen to the show, I laughed out loud. I said, oh my God, they're going to spend $1 billion on a crap sandwich and nobody's going to eat it. And guess what? I was right. And then, you didn't learn from it. Oh my God, you didn't learn from it at all. You actually said that Kamala Harris, the reason why she didn't win, even though they spent $2 billion trying to sell us a crab sandwich, was because she didn't have long enough to run, or she had too much time to run. One of those things. But the truth was, she's a terrible candidate. The Democrat Party is a terrible party, and everybody knows that the Democrat Party and the deep state have tried to kill Donald Trump and the MAGA movement. And guess what? We've just gotten stronger. Oh, yeah. And you've thrown another temper tantrum. You've been throwing a temper tantrum for another 9 months on top of the last 8 years. And guess what? It's not resonating anymore. And you're alienating your base. Did you hear the base last night? This is the base. Listen to the base. She says that by capitulating on the shutdown, the Democrats have lost their base. And here's your base.
I'm done. I am your base. I have voted for Democrats for 40 years. I am a lesbian with a black, disabled, non-binary child, and I worked in an abortion clinic. I am your base, and I'm done.
That's your base. Oh my God. How many boxes did she check? Let's listen. This is the base.
I'm done.
Oh
I'm
my
done.
God.
I am your base.
Okay,
I have voted for Democrats for 40 years. I am a lesbian with a black, disabled, non-binary child, and I worked in an abortion clinic. I am your base, and I'm done.
Oh my God. Oh, and then there's this. A new Gallup survey says 40% of U.S. women aged 18 to 29 want to move permanently to another country if they could, marking the highest levels ever in the organization's polling. And in this, I mentioned this earlier, over 50% of liberal white women under 30 have a mental health issue. Okay, so honestly, don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. Honestly, you're the most subject to a social contagion, you young Karens, the daughters of old Karens, who populate these idiotic No Kings rallies. Bye. Find something else. Honestly, we love MAGA women. They're hot. They dress well. They're feminine, and they're awesome. Oh, and MAGA men are masculine too. We don't drink soy lattes, and we don't drink almond milk because almonds don't have nipples. Oh, it's just so glorious. And you guys just keep going and going and going in the wrong direction. It just makes me so happy. I swear to God, it just makes me so happy. And meanwhile, we're heading into the 250th anniversary of the United States of America with this.
In the prior 4 years, crooked Joe Biden oversaw less than $1 trillion of new investment in the United States. In 9 months, I've secured commitments of over $18 trillion. The stock market has set 40-time all-time record highs, and GDP growth in the second quarter was an amazing almost 4%. In the third quarter, we're on track to achieve an estimated 4.2, maybe more. Gasoline prices have plummeted to the lowest in 2 decades, and we're going to soon see $2 gasoline. The grocery prices are way down, and Walmart just announced that the cost of their standard Thanksgiving meal is 25% lower than 1 year ago. Since March, the price of eggs is down 85%. Wow. Energy prices are down, interest rates are down, and the cost of the typical new mortgage is down by nearly $3,000 a year. Day by day, we're making America affordable again.
Wow, that is just amazing. But we don't like men in women's locker rooms, so that makes us, I guess, transphobic. So, yeah, good luck with that in the next election, Democrats. Oh, my goodness. We've got Michael Charbonne joining us from Canada on the other side of this glorious break on the Rob Carson Show. Don't go anywhere. Hey guys, it's Carson for Get Fresh Olive Oil. I eat olive oil every day. I got rid of seed oils years ago. Life is too short to not have wonderful fresh olive oil, and I mean fresh. Olive oil packs the most flavor and healthy ingredients when it's fresh from the farm. And that's the problem with supermarket olive oils. They're not fresh. They can sit on the shelf for months growing stale. That's why I get my olive oil from small, award-winning farms, thanks to a fellow named T.J. Robinson, also known as the Olive Oil Hunter. When I tasted T.J. Farms' fresh olive oils, I fell in love with their vibrant, grassy flavors. They're incredibly delicious on salad, veggies, pasta, meat, fish, you name it. And as an introduction to his Fresh Pressed Olive Oil Club, TJ is willing to send you a full-size $39 bottle of one of the world's finest artisanal olive oils, fresh from the new harvest, for just $1 to help him cover shipping. There's no commitment to buy anything now or later. Get your free $39 bottle for just $1 and taste the difference freshness makes. Go to GetFreshRobCarson.com. That's GetFreshRobCarson.com for a free bottle and pay just $1 shipping. GetFreshRobCarson.com.
We're sinking vessels, one's loaded with drugs. Mow the boat down. With U.S. airstrikes to target the thugs. We thinks it's time to mow the boats down. Narco-terrorism we won't tolerate. Mow those boats down. Stop your drug traffic before it's too late. Otherwise, we'll mow your boat down. Shape up Venezuela or we might attack. Maduro, we will take down. Drug boats you're sending will never come back. We'll sink them all and watch the men drown. We know who you are, we'll mow your boat down. Won't get very far, we'll mow the boat down. 71%, that's what Kimmel's lost since they put him back on the air. The morons at ABC were too blind to see that about Kimmel no one cares. 85% in a key demo. That is what Kimmel lost. Why do they keep him around? To keep losing ground. Still air him no matter what the cost. Sinclair must feel real stupid now. Next star still with regret. 71% wonder where they went. On Kimmel's failure you can bet.
Disney stock was $197 a share in March of 2021. Now it's $122 a share.
Disney must be in panic mode. They'd pull this show if they could. Why did they bring him back? This a funny hack. Suspension should have been for good.
time to go to our good friend Michael Chabon, the host of the Chabon Report in Canada. Welcome to the show, Michael. How you doing on this glorious Thursday?
Rob Carson coming to you from the Great White North. And you know why they call it the Great White North, eh? Because we have I added that in just for your humor.
Yes.
It's because it snows up here, and it's cold, Rob.
Yes. How many inches of snow on the ground already up there?
Oh, we do it in centimeters up here. It seems larger. We had probably about 3 inches.
How many centimeters? Hey, Michael, how many centimeters is 3 inches? You should know this right off the top of your head.
About 6. That's what I tell everyone. But, Rob, the kernel of information that I got from you is devastating. I'm going to share this with all my friends that real men don't drink almond milk because almonds don't have nipples.
Thank you very much. It's so stupid. You know what's funny? I was in the grocery store the other day, and there was this young couple there, and it was at the Amazon grocery store. Have you been to an Amazon grocery store?
No, I have
Michael,
not.
it's cool as hell. They got these robot carts, and what you do is you scan your code, and then you just put stuff in the cart and in the bag, and it adds it up, and then you just walk out the store. And I always thought, I'd rather talk to a cashier who really doesn't care about what I have to say. But no, it's free. It's cool. But anyway, I'm back here talking to these people, and they're looking at the iced coffee, and because I drink a lot of iced coffee. In case you didn't know, I drink a lot of coffee. And they asked me, what they thought was the best. And I said, well, this is good, and this is good, and Stoke is good, and all of this. And I said, but you see that right there? That's with almond milk. And I said, you don't want to drink that. It's toxic. And they're like, really? I said, yeah, because almonds don't have nipples. You only drink milk from something that has nipples. Thank you very much. And they were like, okay, thanks, sir.
Yeah, did they call the police on you, Rob?
No, they were entertained by me. They were entertained by my vociferousness. I wanted to mention something. This could be a boon for all the soy boys in Canada, like Justin Trudeau. Nearly 4 in 10 young women, 18 to 29 years old, want to leave America. So this could be pretty amazing boon for liberal men in Canada, with a stream of most probably slightly mentally ill women with TDS who have lots of cats. Just wanted to tell you that.
Well, you see, you said TDS. Everybody thinks that's Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah. There's such thing as a Trudeau derangement syndrome. That's TDS as well. That just threw our economy in the dumper, put all kinds of illegal aliens, and opened the criminal and crime syndicates. So we have the same disease as Americans.
But you're a little bit behind us on this, and I'm going to tell you, I think that if you look at what happened with the shutdown and the faceplant the Democrats did, and for the first time we have a president who has cojones the size of coconuts and a steel spine. And for the first time in as long as I can remember, with him leading the Republican Party, we didn't act like a bunch of little wusses. And look what happened. This is a major turning point for America, and I believe it's going to translate into Canada. You guys are a little bit behind us. You've got Polyev and the possibility of Polyev, but it looks like your Liberal Party is doing the same thing. They're doing a faceplant, and I think that I think it's going to catch. I think it's going to catch up in Canada. It might be next year.
Well, it's starting to rumble now. The budget was still to be passed on the 17th of November. If the Liberals don't get it, we're going into an election. There's an old saying, Rob, that when America sneezes, Canada catches a cold.
Yeah.
So we're a little bit behind. But you know what's really, here's something that they call us snowbirds, right? Great White North.
Yeah.
Do you realize the amount of Canadians that aren't going south to Florida? We spent $20 billion in America last year.
Yeah.
And as far as it's going now, 37% of Canadians are not going to Florida because of the rising costs. Some of them are all so afraid, Rob, of the 51st state comment.
Oh, wow. Listen, I want to see Canada turn back to its roots of being rugged individualists who live in the Great White North and kill grizzlies with their bare hands and eat back bacon and drink skunky beer. Whatever happened to those Canadians, for God's sake?
They died from skunky beer. Did you know that bear is actually the same as swine? that bear meat, just for all those hunters, because you got lots of hunters in the States.
Yeah.
If you kill a bear, it's like killing the same as swine. It has the same not meat consistency, but the same spoilage. Very interesting.
Yeah, and it also is, it's not very good. It's not very good. Bear meat is greasy, and it's not very good. I had it, I think, once. I had some bear McNuggets or something. I don't know what the hell it was. But you're saying, so Canada, you're saying that Canadians are afraid to come into America. And this is the TDS, this is the liberal Canadians don't want to come into America. It's the same reason that women want to move out of America. There's nothing to be afraid of but what is in their head by whatever headline they've been fed or whatever propaganda they've been fed. That's really what it's all about, Michael.
Well, it's the MSNBC generation that's contributing to those over 61 years of age. They're talking about selling their condos. They're saying, there's evasive intrusion when you cross the border. They may ask to take your picture and your fingerprints. Well, just to tell everybody, anytime you travel by flight, your fingerprints and your face is taken all the time. So wake up, Susie Cream Cheese. Life is moving forward.
Honestly, it's a joke. Did you hear, by the way, MSNBC, they're changing their brands to MS Now, and apparently, and this is the internal memo, that they're staying exactly the same. Their content is staying exactly the same. They're just changing the name and the imaging. I saw that. And how long do you think that's going to last?
Well, the embarrassment continues. They're just changing the cover of the book. The content still reads the same. Lousy and lies. You can call it whatever you want. You use that expression, lipstick on a pig. It's very much the same. You can call it whatever the heck you want. I mean, I have multiple monitors in my office studio here that I monitor and aggregate information from multiple sources. And many times you have to put on MSNBC just so you can see what the crazies are saying.
I swear. Now, you saw what happened with Donald Trump threatening the BBC with $1 billion lawsuit, and the GB News is rising over there. It's like the Newsmax of Great Britain. Do you suppose is there any sort of movement against the radical leftism of the CBC?
Well, you see, unfortunately, the CBC is funded by the Canadian government, the Liberals.
Yeah, exactly.
They just gave them, I think it was $150 million.
Yeah.
There's been many independents who have cried foul because of the taxpayer endorsement that puts them on a different level than entrepreneurs who are trying to survive. The CBC does, and one has to say, if it wasn't for them, we would be eaten up by your American media because you are such a huge Goliath.
Yeah.
So they have purported Canadian content. Where one begins to bicker a bit is in their political coverage, because in some instances they lean more left than center, and that's where we start to have a bit of a discussion.
Exactly. Hey, let's continue
you don't bite the hand that feeds you. Right?
Yeah, let's continue the conversation on the other side of the break. Michael Charbonne, how's that sound?
Beautiful, Rob Carson.
All right, let's take a break and come back. You are listening to The Rob Carson Show.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text.
We got more from Michael Charbon coming up in one moment. You know, last week, gold topped $4,000 an ounce. This week, it started at $4,000 an ounce. Today, it's $4,202. $4,202 an ounce. That would mean if you had 10 ounces of gold, you would have made $2,000 between Monday and today. What'd your 401k do for you? I mean, what the heck? This is crazy. This is crazy. It was $2,600 last year. It's $4,200 an ounce. We've never seen anything like this. And why is it? Gold thrives in times of uncertainty, and a lot of central banks are buying up gold. They're making it more precious than ever. Maybe it's time, before it's too late, to move that 401k or IRA into a gold IRA with Birch Gold. I've been talking about this forever. Dear Lord, how many times I had to bang the drum here? Here, it's very simple. Just text my name, Rob, to 989898. There you go. Every day you sit here and you're sitting on the park bench and the buses are going by. You're like, should I get on one? Should I get on one? I think it's time to get on. Text my name, Rob, to 989898 to claim your eligibility for a free info kit on gold. And right now, through the end of the month, for every $20,000 invested in Birch Gold, they're going to send you some free gold. How's that sound? There's gold in them thar hills. So all you got to do is text my name, Rob, to 989898. I'm sorry. Every day I open up and I just check the price of gold, and I'm gobsmacked. It's $4,200 an ounce today. Birch Gold, 989898. Get that done. You know, Michael Charbon, I was noticing Keir was trending on Twitter. Keir Starmer, he's leftist, kind of like your prime minister up there in Canada. And he just got kicked out of a pub. I think the British people are kind of done with him, too.
Well, the British people are seeing the results of, the British monarchy a long time ago that, took advantage of spices and tea and told all those people that they ruled over, oh, you're part of England. Well, they all came back to London, and they opened the door,
yeah,
and now there's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, there is. Did you see what happened in Poland? The Polish people they just had enough. They marched in mass in support of, traditional Poland as founded rather than being overtaken by migrants. They had this global movement to fill countries, essentially overthrow populations. Germany is kicking out all the Syrians. They want 1 million Syrians gone. Because people are returning to the countries as founded. The United States, the same thing. Canada, to a lesser degree. You still guys, like I said, you said that when America sneezes, you guys get a cold. When a Democrat's in charge, they don't wear a condom, and then Canada gets something else.
Wow, Rob Carson, it's amazing, these kernels of Carsonism.
Yes.
But I do have a question for you.
What?
To answer your question,
yes.
We will eventually get there. If we get a conservative government in there, everything will get tightened, and we will align like the rest of the world because everybody's realizing the mistakes of the last 4 years of experimental wokeness.
Yeah.
But I have a question for you.
What?
they're talking about killing the filibuster, and they're saying, well, if the Democrats get in, they're going to kill the filibuster. That means they can pass anything if they're objected by the opposition party.
Yes.
Is it not just as bad if the Republicans say that they want to kill a filibuster? Does not the filibuster give America just that chance so that a ruling party can't just bulldoze everything through?
Well, the thing is, they've already admitted they're going to do it. Pencil neck Adam Schiff said they are going to do it. And, you cannot bring Marcus of Kingsbury rules or Queensberry rules or whatever to a MMA fight. And so if we want to get anything done the next 3 years, getting rid of the filibuster may do it. And this will include in election integrity, which will ensure the Democrats don't get into power, because right now they're doing a face plant. Their policies are not working. The only reason they've been able to win is by massive mail-in votings, gerrymandering, and other nonsense. And I think the only way that, and this has kind of been tabled right now with the successful passage of the CR, but it may have to be reconsidered, because the Dems are going to do it, and we might as well play by their friggin' rules. Sorry, and I'm normally not that way, but we've always been polite and kind in all of this, and we showed finally, and I've watched this for 50 years of my adult life, the Republican Party going along to get along, and we just found out with Donald Trump girded by the ballsy members of Congress who are MAGA Republicans, that the Democrats fold. And so I'm down with it. If it comes up again, when the CR comes up again in January, then we may have to pass it, because the Dems are going to do it anyway, Michael.
Yeah, but I think Jasmine Crockett and Gavin Newsom would make such a lovely ticket for the Democrats.
Oh, my God.
Can you imagine? Late-night television comedians could not hesitate that great big piece of chum in the water.
Yeah.
I mean, Jasmine Crockett, she has a different wig for every week, and you're not quite sure if it's the same chick. She had this whole knotted thing the other day when the conservative radio host kissed her feet, which I can't believe stuff like that.
Yeah,
stuff that goes on in American media is quite interesting.
Jasmine Crockett is unbelievable. She's a dimwit. My Lord, you're giving away too much credit. What was it? Charlemagne, oh, for God, who ought to just stick to pop culture and stupid nonsense, which is what morning music jocks do. He's saying, oh, yeah, she's the Trojan horse for the Democrat Party. He didn't even know what Trojan horse means, but he's all down with her. She's an idiot, and most people think she's an idiot. She's just mouthy, and people cover her because she's mouthy.
They voted for her, Rob. This is the problem.
It won't be national.
You can sit here and evaluate from our easy chair and your media pulpit. They voted for her.
No, I am not in the easy chair. I am down with the people, man. You got to understand that. I've been right about everything, and she is a buffoon, and AOC is a buffoon, and the Democrats lurching left will do a massive faceplant. But Michael Charbon, it has been wonderful to have you on. Where can people find your glorious show and whatnot?
You can find it at michaelacharbon.com, or you can find it at the Charbon Report. Thanks, Rob. Love you and appreciate your listeners. I love your posts.
And
too,
God bless Canada, man. Let's get you to the right way of living up there. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. All right, what we got here? Lindsay Marsden watching on the Facebook, hello, and Robert Lawson, hello, and Carol Leftwich, hi. How's it going? You guys are quite busy on the quite busy over there on YouTube. Royal Splendor is watching. Royal Splendor, I like that. Royal Splendor, that's fantastic. My God. NSJ9, haven't seen you there before, but good to have you there. America is Marcy. A lot of new names popping up as the show grows by leaps and bounds. 240p99. Not sure what your name's all about, but I'm glad to have you watching. Donnie Newman, what up? What up? Thanks for joining us. Who's watching over on the Rumbly Roo? Lynn Scat, proud to be a Jew, as always. Bobby Co 101, haven't seen you there before. It's nice to have you. Janine Page, I haven't seen you in a couple days, so nice to see you as well. Valentina is new. She said, my household has another name for Justin Trudeau, and I put up Justin Turdo because I call him Justin Turdo because he's a human turd. But, I think... Mo M167 says almond milk tastes spoiled. Coffee place put some in coffee one day. Next time I was there, I told them to put spoiled milk in my coffee. They claimed they threw too much milk for that, whatever that means. Yeah, almond milk is awful. Everybody thought, oh yeah, this is much better. How in the hell do you make milk out of oats? You add milk to your oats. There's no milk in oats, and there's no milk in almonds. You're creating something ridiculous. It's not natural. It's weird. It's weird. All right, here we go.
About future results, investment products are not FDIC
time for me to
insured.
talk
Lose value and are not bank guaranteed.
Continue having fun as I'm doing right now.
Yeah, about 3 minutes.
It was great to hear from the new leader of the Democrat Party, Mrs. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Unfortunately, we didn't also get to hear from their other leader, Mr. Zoran Mamdani. Mr. Speaker, I'm going to be proud this evening.
That's Brandon Gill, freshman representative.
To vote to reopen the federal government.
House should be in order.
Isn't it nice to have Republicans with balls?
Mr. Speaker, for
so amazing. I'm
for
not used
40
to this.
days, the Democrats shut our government down to pursue unrealistic,
even the women have them,
policy proposals that they know the
not like the ones that go into locker rooms, the Democrats. No, that's completely different. I'm talking figurative.
American people do not want. Mr. Speaker, the American people do not want health care for illegal aliens. They do not want our tax dollars funding left-wing media outlets, and they do not want to drive up our debt $1.5 trillion as part of a short-term continuing resolution.
Yeah, you guys got keelhauled. Oh, my God. Listen to Mike Lawler. Mike Lawler gave him a little what for. This is fantastic. Shaming the Democrats for their tomfoolery. I'll just call it tomfoolery.
The reason we know this is a Democratic shutdown is because of how angry they are that we're about to reopen the government.
Yeah,
period.
I know.
That's all you need to know. In 2023, Jerry Nadler said shutdown is really an extremist policy designed to appeal to an extremist base and hold the whole country
They're so likable, those Democrats. The Nadler and Pencilneck.
hostage. That is exactly what
Rose DeLauro, dear God.
the Democrats have done over the last 43 days.
Freak
they
show.
have held the American people hostage, trying to extract insane things like free health care for illegal immigrants.
Paying for transgender sex surgeries for children. I mean, really, what the...
If they were serious about tackling the health care affordability crisis in this country, then they would address the fundamental problem with Obamacare.
Yeah.
Since Obamacare...
It's a giant flaming sack of crap.
...took effect, health care premiums have risen...
Somebody left on your porch?
...by 96%. And on the open market by 114%.
I know.
When I asked Leader Jeffries to sign on to the 1-year extension of the premium tax credit, he refused.
Yeah, Hakeem Jeffries, my new nickname for him is Dead-Eye Dick.
He stuttered, he stammered, he couldn't answer a single question. Because this
he has dead eyes.
Shutdown was never about health care. It was always about appeasing a far-left radical base. Chuck Schumer said, every day gets better for us. Catherine Clark said, of course people will suffer. We want to use this as leverage.
That's exactly right, and you lost. And for the first time, I saw a Republican Party that was out for the American people to help them out, and they have cojones. It's glorious. Hour number 2 of the Rob Carson Show is coming up. I promise you it'll be as fun or more. Don't go anywhere.
No blind rhetoric.
No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think. Don't tell me how to think.
I trust NEWSMAX. NEWSMAX.
They don't tell me how to think. They let me decide.
Real news for real people.
funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show, hour number 2. It is the Thursday, T-minus 1 day until Friday. And, boy, I tell you what, I'm just in a good mood with the collapse of the Democrats, their attempt to extort us, and it didn't work this time. I remember the last shutdown, the Obama administration, when they used it to shut down the World War II memorial and punish veterans. And I remember, because I lived in Washington, D.C. at the time, and they shut down the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. And they actually had more people working to keep it shut than would have worked had they closed it. They literally had people on horseback, Capitol Police or whatever, Park Police, whatever, on horseback on either end, so people couldn't walk on the sidewalk in front of it. That's what D words for Richard the Democrats were in that shutdown. And they had hundreds and thousands of posters printed up blaming the shutdown on the Republicans and reveling in the suffering that it caused. So they play one side or the other of this, and this time we had Republicans in charge and a president in charge who's gone through hell to get here and do what he said he was going to do, and that is make the country a much better place to be, bring back lots of manufacturing to a country that Barack Obama said could not be brought back. Barack Obama, because, you know why? Do you know why? Because Barack Obama was an academic who's never worked a day in his life. He never had a callus. He might have had a callus on one hand for a while when he was a teenager, but he doesn't have a callus on his hands. He's never had a callus on his hands. He never did anything, and he said that there was no chance, there was no possibility that we could possibly bring back manufacturing into America. And Donald Trump said, "Oh, I think we can. I think we can actually." And then of course, well, here I'll just give you a little montage. Here's Barack Obama. Barack Obama, he said that we certainly could not do anything about manufacturing. It was gone. It was gone. Now, realize that there were a number of Democrat policies that drove manufacturing out of our country. It got to the point where you didn't see Made in America on anything, right? Am I right? Most of the stuff you order from Amazon or whatever says Made in China, Made in Taiwan on it and whatnot. It used to be, look for the union label. It used to be Made in America meant something. But the Democrat Party said, you know what? Now we're going to ship this overseas. We're going to become a service economy. And how well did that work for us? And they sent people to go get worthless piece of crap degrees at universities, work in cubicles, if they could get a job with their piece of crap degrees, and then work half of their lives to pay off the student loans. How well did that work?
For those folks who've lost their job right now because a plant went down to Mexico, that isn't going to make you feel better.
Yeah, U.S. policy did that.
And so what we have to do is to make sure that folks are trained for the jobs that are coming in now, because some of those jobs of the past are just not going to come back.
Really?
And when somebody says...
this is a man who's never worked. This is a man who's never built anything. He sat around in his privileged high school, his Punahou school, raised by white grandparents, and smoked weed all day. Never built anything, never did anything. He's like, George Bush said there are jobs Americans won't do. He was full of crap too, because we will do any job. We've always done any job. That's how we got to be this country. That's why we have the tallest buildings. And, well, except for the Burj Dubai, they got us on that. But we started it all. We started it all because we did the dirty work. People still do the dirty work. People still shovel crap. People still plant seeds and till fields and feed cattle and pigs so they can keep you fed. We still do the dirty work. We're proud to do the dirty work. We like to build things. There's no shame in it. There's no shame in not having a PhD, an MD, an MBA, and all that crap.
Like the person you just mentioned, who I'm not going to advertise for.
He's talking about Trump.
That he's going to bring all these jobs back. Well, how exactly are you going to do that? What are you going to do?
Listen.
There's no answer to it.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I don't know. I've never done anything in my life. What are you going to do?
He just says, well, I'm going to negotiate a better deal. Well, how exactly are you going?
You don't know that because you've never done anything outside of the faculty lounge.
To negotiate that. What magic wand do you have? And usually the answer is he doesn't have an answer.
During 8 years of the last administration, America lost 10,000 factories and nearly 200,000 manufacturing jobs. Think of that. In contrast, my administration added over 500,000 manufacturing
That's just in the first administration.
jobs. It was up to actually 701,000 jobs before the plague came in.
Yeah, before the Democrat Party of the deep state unleashed a virus we paid for from China.
And if you remember,
then shut down the economy on purpose.
President Obama, you need a magic wand. No, you don't. We need manufacturing jobs. He said you won't have any more manufacturing jobs. You need a magic wand. He was wrong about that.
Yeah, because we got $18 trillion in new manufacturing jobs coming into the United States of America. Holy cow. People are going to be building stuff. It's remarkable. I guess he did have a magic wand. They also said that the border couldn't be fixed. Donald Trump, it took a month.
Republicans keep saying Biden doesn't need Congress. He can stop what's happening at the border all by himself. Can you fact check that for us? Because we here all know that's not true.
Republicans have been saying, largely wrongly, right, because saying that the president can close the border unilaterally on his own. The president actually doesn't have the authority under law.
Yeah, I think he does.
There's only so much President Biden can do with executive action, and he did try to do whatever he could.
They actually are doing everything they can.
The president's hands are.
No, actually, this is what Joe Biden did with the southern border.
We have rescinded so many Trump immigration policies, it would take so much time to list them.
There have been more than 1 million migrant encounters since October 1st, when our fiscal year began. It is the earliest this milestone has ever been reached.
It's a mess that this administration created from day one. Smugglers and cartels exploiting chaos at the border. Agents are being removed from the line. They're having to process. They're having to do all the administrative work. And who is it that's, flourishing from this? It's the drug cartels.
Cartel gunmen stroll along the riverbank, armed with rifles. It's here where cartel gunmen have repeatedly...
Yeah, you remember that. You remember sitting here screaming at the sky going, when is somebody going to stop this, what they're doing this to the southern border desperately, and then having them tell you, oh, there's nothing to see here. Seeing crime go through the ceiling, seeing 300,000+ children trafficked across the southern border for sex and labor, young women trafficked across the southern border, Trinidad, Aragua, in New York City, in Colorado. I mean, I could go on and on. Illegals given, massive amounts of benefits so they'll vote Democrat. Hundreds of thousands of young people killed by fentanyl. We didn't see a single PSA. We didn't see a single PSA for fentanyl when Joe Biden was the president. It's like they didn't even give a flying crap. Didn't even give a flying crap about all the kids who were dying. There's a real good chance you probably know a family that had somebody die of fentanyl poisoning, murder by China and Venezuela, more so than you actually know somebody who died of COVID. That's what happened with me. That's what your Democrat Party did. And guess what? Hell is here. I said that hell was coming and Trump was bringing it with him. Well, hell is here for the Democrats. This is Kash Patel. Because isn't it amazing what happens when you do something?
This is all thanks to President Trump's brave leadership to engage directly with President
They're cutting off fentanyl. It's not going to be here anymore.
Xi Jinping and make one of the pillars of his administration defeating the plague of fentanyl and illegal narcotics. And that set in motion the Attorney General to call her counterpart and designate the FBI and myself as the lead to engage and follow up with President Trump's historic engagement with President
Isn't it amazing what you do when you don't have a president who takes $25 million from the Chinese Communist Party through 29 LLCs and 9 family members, and then allows a Chinese spy balloon to fly over our country for a week, stopping over our most precious military installations, while also selling the Chinese Communist Party land near our military bases? Isn't that weird?
Just a few weeks ago in Korea. And what was accomplished when I went to Beijing was an actual full-out agreement to concretely adhere to the notion that we will not allow fentanyl to pour into the United States of America. Wow. But you got to break that down. What does that mean? We know the Mexican drug traffickers are making...
Did you ever hear Joe Biden say the word fentanyl? Did you ever talk about the scourge of fentanyl killing hundreds of thousands of Americans? Not one time.
But where are they getting the ingredients? The fentanyl precursors are distributed by and through companies in China. And what they have now done is, pursuant to our agreement, where we asked for all 13 fentanyl precursors to be designated and fully restricted, and a further 7 chemicals to be restricted as well.
Wow.
This effectively shuts off all of the chemicals and ingredients used to make fentanyl. No other president has done this. Thanks to the Department of Justice and the FBI.
You fentanyl addicts, you might want to get some sort of countermeasures and get off that stuff because it's going to be hard to come by here pretty quick. And then there's Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio ended up being the greatest Secretary of State of all time. And the EU was all mad because there are a lot of people who are making a lot of money off of the illegal drug trafficking. I'll just say they're probably politicians in America. We heard that from Blaine Holt yesterday. There are people all over the world, politicians, who are pocketing money from the drug cartels. And the EU's getting all butthurt because we're blowing up drug boats. And the Democrat Party's getting all upset because we're blowing up drug boats. And the EU, like Germany, not going to share their intelligence with us anymore while we're blowing up the drug boats. And Marco Rubio says, yeah, you know what? Who cares?
I don't think that the European Union gets to determine what international law is. They certainly don't get to determine is how the United States defends its national security. The United States is under attack from organized criminal narco-terror.
I love watching that sweet drug boat explosion porn
in our hemisphere.
It's like
and the president,
it's like the Antifa beatdown porn. I love that too, man.
Is responding in the
Watch
defense
that
of our
day.
country. I do find it interesting that all these countries want us to send, and supply, for example, nuclear-capable Tomahawk missiles to defend Europe.
Mm-hmm.
But when the United States positions aircraft carriers in our hemisphere where we live, somehow that's a problem. So I would say that the United States is, and this president has made very clear, his job is to protect the United States from threats against the United States, and that is what he's doing in this operation.
Yeah, there you go. Now, coming up, we got some great news on SNAP benefits. This is it's an important service. I have shared with you that I had to use it a few years ago. I was ashamed to admit it, but it hasn't been abused like you wouldn't believe. And we have an administration that's going to do something about that abuse. I'm going to share it on the other side. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. p.m.
Got to rejoin.
Okay.
The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
Yeah, baby. We just needed somebody to do something because we had a man with pudding for brains who was installed as the president after a very questionable election. Yeah, he got 81 million votes. Sure he did. You bet you. You bet you. He just keep... No, he didn't. That's disinformation. Oh, really? Okay, well, I can't question anything. No, it's disinformation. Okay, sure. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. I want to talk about food stamp fraud here in a second. I'm going to be out on Friday near Balmer in a place called Eldersburg, Maryland, this Saturday night. If you are a WCBM listener, our anchor station, you might consider coming out because this is going to be fun. I don't get out much. It's a salute to service golf tournament. It's an indoor golf tournament. And it's in a big shop that has china and glassware. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually an indoor golf tournament. It's like virtual golf kind of thing. And then they're going to be doing an 80s cover band later in the evening. Oh, my God. And I've been told I might even be able to sing back vocals on a couple songs. So it's going to get nuts. It's going to get crazy. It is... at Happy Hubs, H-U-B-Z, on Liberty Road in Sykesville, Maryland. So if you want to come and see me, it's on my social media, or you can go, I guess, to, Happy Hubs, H-U-B-Z. But I'm going to be there Saturday night, and we're raising money for veterans charities, and this band is called Weird Science. I think it's going to be really fun. I don't get out, like I said, I don't get out much. And if you need a DD, I'll take care of you because I don't drink any more of it. But I'm going to be there. Deplorabella's going to be there. Woo! Deplorabella's awesome. So, I don't know if you knew this, but Joe Biden, when he was the president, somebody signed off on increasing SNAP benefits 40% because, you see, they brought 20 million people over the border illegally, and they drew them in with free benefits and free insurance and all of that stuff because the Democrat Party's losing voters in places like New York and California because they make those states awful places to live in. So they got to replace them with the bodies of people coming across the southern border, regardless of whether they have disease or criminal record, because that's how evil the Democrat Party is. And here is Brooke Rollins. She's the Secretary of Agriculture. And one of the things that this government shutdown revealed, as I like to say, the Democrats, they exposed their flanks so we can kick their butts. You've heard me say that before. Well, they did this. They exposed their flank with the government shutdown and exposed the fact that SNAP benefits are a massive fraud campaign.
But I do think what the Democrats did not include in their calculation in their insane government shutdown was the fact that this spotlight was going to be shined upon one of their favorite government welfare programs that under Joe Biden increased 40%.
Wow.
Where all that money went, trying to buy elections, we're not 100% sure, but we're rolling it back.
No, of course it was.
Now, on day...
You know why I know that? Because I'm not stupid.
One, back in February, for me, we sent a letter to every governor saying, send us your SNAP data.
Now, which governments complied? Were they the Republicans or the Democrats?
All of this money that the federal government, the taxpayers are paying for food stamps, we don't even know where it goes, what happens, what they're doing with it. And we said no more. So 29 states complied and 20 plus others did not. And we're suing. We're in a litigation right now. But of the 29 that complied, what we have found is staggering. 500,000 people getting benefits 2 times under the same name.
They're eating better than you. Poor people eating better than you, and you're just above poor.
5,000 dead people. 80% of the
I didn't realize dead people could put away so much food.
Able-bodied Americans, meaning they can work.
Well, I guess they can vote if they're Democrats, so,
They don't have small children at home. They're not taking care of an elderly parent. They can work and they choose not to work, of course, because they're getting significant benefits from the taxpayer. So this light, Laura, that has now been shined on what is perhaps one of the most corrupt, dysfunctional programs in American history that we are working now. Very big announcements coming next week on this. We are cracking down. We now have a plan to fix it, and we're really, really excited.
I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, I told you my story. I had to get the old SNAP benefits. I was embarrassed and humiliated. because I couldn't find a job. And, radio for some reason decided I couldn't do talk radio for a while. I don't know what the deal is. There's some people like Bill, a guy named Bill I know, that decided he didn't want me to work in talk radio anymore. And so I had to resort to it. And I'll tell you, we ate better than we did before. Because before, you got to really watch what you eat. Now, I'm not saying, I think we got $600 a month, family of 4. But and I discovered when you go to like Sam's Club or whatever, or Costco, the people who have the most full carts at the beginning of the month, like the first day of the month, you go in there and there are people who have a caravan of carts, and you can always tell they're the ones with the snap carts. The ones just had their snap carts, and they don't care what it is. Like, oh, crab legs. Oh, let's throw crab legs in there. Let's throw steak in there. Meanwhile, I'm over here going, oh, where's the yellow sticker from the sandwiches that are about to go bad? And they pull up there in their caravan and they $600 worth of groceries, and oh my God, it was so funny. But there's a lot of fraud.
And 20 plus others did not, and we're suing. We're in a litigation right now.
Yeah, the states that didn't cooperate and share what the SNAP benefits are going are all Democrat states.
But of the 29 that complied, what we have found is staggering. 500,000 people.
Yeah, like I said, 500,000 people should not be on it, and they're going to fix it. Isn't it amazing what happens when you do something? When you do something, here's Doug Collins. He's the VA secretary, and look what he's done already to the VA.
Well, to get started, the president rightfully noted the accomplishments of this administration, what we're doing. I want to put that disability claim in perspective, Maria. That's low. That's the lowest level in 5 years. Let me put the real numbers to it. When I showed up, and we showed up in Washington with the president, it was over 260,000 in backlog of 125 days or longer.
Wow.
That number is now under 114.
It's only been 9 months.
We had over a million pending cases. Those are under 600,000 now. We just put the emphasis where it needed to be, and that made the disability backlog go down. That means that veterans are getting their services quicker, their answers quicker, so they can move on with their life. And where we're headed next is reforming into our VHA, our medical facilities, making sure we have a streamlined approach.
Isn't it amazing when you don't have a bunch of academic, privileged losers who've never had a job in their lives running the show versus people who do know what it's all about? Isn't it amazing what happens when you do something? It's remarkable. Erin Van Natta, columnist, daily caller, joins us next. Don't go anywhere. Hey guys, it's Carson, not proud member of the 4 a.m. club. You know what that is? Well, that's the time that I usually wake up every night and can't get back to sleep. Then I found Beam's Dream Powder. Now, Beam's Dream Powder is made with a powerful blend of all natural ingredients, including reishi, magnesium, L-theanine, apigenin, and melatonin. It's designed to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up feeling amazing. And unlike other sleep aids, there's no next day grogginess, just great restful sleep. Plus, Dream tastes incredible, and it's become a part of my nightly routine. Simple, easy, effective. Dream is made right here in America, supporting jobs, quality, and the principles we stand for in America. Thank you very much. Beam is going to give my listeners the ultimate Patriot discount, up to 40%. Try their best-selling Dream Powder. Get up to 40% off for a limited time. So with my discount code NEWSMAX, you can get their best-selling Dream Powder for just $39. Go to shopbeam.com/NEWSMAX. That's shopbeam.com/NEWSMAX. Again, use the code NEWSMAX at checkout. That's beam.com/NEWSMAX and use code word NEWSMAX for up to 40% off.
With talent on loan from God, and have my brain tied behind my back, to be fair.
You were the sunshine of our life, Rush. That's why we'll miss you oh so much.
You know, I'm the mayor of Realville here.
You cut down liberals like a knife, Rush.
El Rushball.
Forever you'll be number one.
I am Rush Limbaugh, household name.
America needed a hero
in all four corners of the world.
And then you came came to our rescue.
The Limbaugh Institute for Advanced Conservative Studies.
Competition, you had zero. How could so much talent be inside of you?
And don't doubt it.
You were the sunshine of our life, Rush. That's why we listened every day.
That's it. It's not much more complicated than that.
You helped us get through all the strife, Rush. No one will ever take your place, because Rush was the sunshine of our life, of our life, of our life.
Meeting and surpassing all audience expectations every day behind this golden EIB microphone.
Homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews are Rob Carson's friends. Better believe that they'll be friends to the end. Willie! A new coalition to promote freedom. They're all about liberty. The perfect trio to combat the left and look out for you and me. Mamas, please let your babies grow up to be homeboys. Hillbillies and Hebrews is who you should raise. You'll receive nothing but absolute praise. Homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews are saving this country. They love this land and they'll give you a hand. We need to give them our thanks. Homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews are friends to this nation. They've got our back when we're under attack. Homeboys, hillbillies, Hebrews.
I'm done. I'm done. I am your base. I have voted for Democrats for 40 years. I am a lesbian with a black, disabled, non-binary child, and I worked in an abortion clinic. I am your base, and I'm done.
That is the base of the Democrat Party, and they are leaving after this shutdown. They are leaving after. That's kind of narrowing things down a little bit. That just kind of, if that's the base, and I've said that the Democrat Party, the base, like the Kamala voter, is white, liberal, cul-de-sac dwelling, crazy cat lady, and their emasculated husbands or just men in their lives. They show up at No Kings protests. Yeah, I'm very right about this. And, of course, a lot of younger women with gauged ears and purple hair. And here to discuss this and other things is Erin Van Natta, associate editor at the Daily Caller. Erin, how are you on this glorious Thursday?
I'm doing well, Rob, but I will push back just a little bit.
What?
Because I am a young woman.
I know.
And I'm not crazy. So
I know. But I'm talking about young, like for instance, we just saw a new Gallup survey. 40% of U.S. women ages 18 to 29 want to move into another country. These are young liberal women. They are the ones who, I also read a study last week. Over 50% of liberal white women under 30 have a mental health issue. They are most prone to social contagion. The opposite can be said of conservative women, right, Erin?
Yes. No, I've seen those studies too. It's incredibly sad, honestly.
Yeah.
But I think that it's just indicative of their worldview.
It is, and they, like I said, they're generally more subject to social contagion. We are now discovering, which we all knew, the transgender nonsense was a social contagion. We've seen the rate of people claiming to be non-binary and transgender drop by 50-60% in the last couple of years, but the federal government, the deep state, took advantage of people who had been ostracized and alienated because of COVID and implanted this seed. And so for many young women, liberal young women, they're lost, they're confused, and they really need help, not a reinforcement of the falsehoods they've been fed.
Right, and you're also seeing some of that among young men, too. There's some polls showing that momdami is actually gaining support or has support among that cohort, too. And I think there's just a lot of disaffected people, especially in, I'm Gen Z, but Gen Z, millennial, younger generations, a lot of people are disaffected. They're worried about, there's a lot of economic reasons. A lot of factors there, and then there's also just a lot of the cultural, social contagions that you noted, non-binary, all that stuff. But I think that's actually kind of on the decrease now.
It is. It is. I've got a daughter who's 20 years old, and, my generation, Generation X, we were the ones who went to the kegers, and we partied, and we were, smoked in bars, and all of this, and we slept around. I'll be honest. Yeah. And I think that a lot of Gen Zers, like my daughter's a liberal. She's a liberal, but you know what? She doesn't smoke. She doesn't drink. She's never had a toke on a bong. And she doesn't curse, of all things, around me, which was a surprise, Erin, to be quite honest. But I know a lot of younger people who are beginning to recognize that masculinity isn't toxic, that you shouldn't hate yourself because you're a woman and you're feminine, and maybe we were wrong about partying and sleeping around.
Yeah, I think there is probably a lot of resentment in the younger generations towards, and this is on both the left and the right. Yeah. I've seen it online, especially a lot of anger against the boomers, specifically with regards to not being able to afford a home.
Boom. Yes.
So
yes.
I think that was a major factor in these recent elections. And there are a lot of reasons why Republicans lost, but I think there was actually Politico did an interview with Trump, like a former White House insider, a Trump advisor. I'm blanking on his name, but he was essentially like, Republicans lost because they didn't talk about affordability enough, especially in
Well, I agree to some degree on that, Erin, but I don't think that the victories on last Tuesday were as resounding as you think they are. But I do agree with you on the affordability, and I remember when I was, young, when I was in my 20s, they called Gen X slackers, and I resented that because I've never had more than 2 weeks of vacation. I've never had 2 weeks of vacation in a row, and it's been a very long time. But my when we were graduating in the late 80s, early 90s, we were graduating with better prospects, particularly the mid 90s with the boom of the .com boom and whatnot. But then the last few years, home prices have doubled, interest rates have tripled, and college degrees are worthless, and people are graduating with a half a lifetime of debt. So I don't blame you, and I think we need to focus on that, and I think we're going to get there, Erin.
Yeah, the debt issue is huge.
I know.
And I know there are people that are just saddled with thousands and thousands of dollars in debt. And, there is definitely an element of personal responsibility there. But you also kind of have to just look at how
You're also sold a bill of goods with these degrees, and then you end up just being indoctrinated with no skills whatsoever. I saw there's a school near Kansas City where they're giving degrees in fixing up classic cars, and young men and women are graduating making $100K. And I know people who, we've been told that it's better to be in a cubicle or, whatever and not build stuff. There's nothing satisfying about it. But there is real satisfaction in jobs that build things and require skills like that,
For sure, yeah. And I think that the educational landscape is changing, especially after COVID. And I think people are now looking towards other avenues of how to get educated or how to educate their children, and are seeing that there are different paths available from just the traditional college route, which is not to say that going to college is bad. You know, especially I think among conservatives, you need people to get those degrees and get in these institutions that, you know, in academia and the media. So that's definitely still important. But yeah, I mean, the trades, you know, whether it's, I mean, you can make a lot of money in the trades. And
oh my God, yes. I had a guy who had an MBA, and he came out and he just wrapped my fireplace mantle in oak and then did a beam. And I was just talking to him, and I said, why did you do this? He says, because I've always liked doing this. I got a job, and I found it to be very unsatisfying, accounting, but I love this. This is what I love. And the guy makes a buttload of money. Erin, let me ask you this. Can you hold on to the other side of the break? Because I want your thoughts as a Gen Zer, recent college graduate, on Berkeley, on what happened the other night during the TPUSA event. I'd also like your thoughts on the shutdown, the resolution of the shutdown yesterday. Can you hold on through the break and continue with this conversation?
Yeah, we'll do.
Erin Van Natta, associate editor of The Daily Caller, on the phone. We'll be back in a second. This is The Rob Carson Show.
CBN.com.
More with Erin Van Natta, the associate editor of the Daily Caller and all-around awesome Gen Z influencer and conservative. In 1 second, you know, cyber crime spikes during the holidays. They call it Black Friday because American businesses begin to operate in the black in the fourth quarter. They require and rely on us happy little Christians going out and buying presents for everybody. and being generous and whatnot. And cyber criminals know that. They know that you are benevolent and you are kind and you are giving, and they take advantage of you, and they do phishing scams and they do fake emails and they do brands offering holiday deals or shipping updates, fake shipping notifications, fake e-commerce sites and social media stores, fraudulent websites, social media ads, and sometimes you get suckered in. Well, not if you have WebRoot Total Protection. Yeah. I am hit with these all the time. Hit with these messages. You need to update your credit card information, or here's a great deal, whatever. Or this, there's a clothing store that I ordered stuff from. Piece of crap. If you want to read about it, read my social media. But with WebRoot Total Protection, you get real antivirus protection about emergency threats like malware, ransomware, phishing scams. Protects your family, including students and seniors. Up to $1 million in expense reimbursement for stolen funds and out-of-pocket costs due to identity theft. I've had that done at least once. 24-hour U.S.-based customer support for identity theft restoration. No annoying pop-ups. Customers love WebRoot. For the last 25 years, 90% retention rate. I love them. I got WebRoot for this computer, my phone, and my home computer because I was getting hammered on all of them. Go to webroot.com/Carson. Are you ready? 60% off. What? Yeah. webroot.com/Carson. 60% off. This is an amazing product. When you see the price, you'll go, no freaking way. But it is a remarkable product. I cannot endorse it more, people. 60% off. Webroot.com/Carson. So, Berkeley, Erin, absolutely unacceptable. This cannot continue. We've seen this gradual march of totalitarianism from, protesting conservatives like Ann Coulter to declaring that conservative speech is violence to what happened at Berkeley. And it sounds like Harmeet Dillon is done with it. What do you think?
Well, some action needs to be taken against these universities because clearly they aren't going to do anything to protect their students. No. I was just seeing this article on Fox News Digital, and they had reached out to the university, and a spokesperson told them, they're like, well, it did happen on campus grounds, and then they didn't really say anything else, but kind of the implication there is not our problem.
Well, no, it is becoming a real problem. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous that every time an event like this at one of these campuses happens, and this, we've seen, in the past, there's been a couple of other preceding events where the police or a bomb squad was called in because of threats or suspicious objects, unfortunately, it's a scary time, I think, especially if you're a conservative student on these campuses.
Or
but
Jewish.
It's also a time more than ever where I think people need to speak out and not take this.
Here is Harmeet Dillon talking about it.
What could potential penalty look like for UC Berkeley?
Well, look, to the extent that Berkeley was wink, wink, nudge, nudge, aware of and let this happen, that could be a civil rights conspiracy. They have a history of it, so frankly, they're already starting in a hole. The police could be responsible for their both sidesism, where they actually arrested a victim of violence last night and then ticketed everybody and let them all go. Comically, one of the people who was arrested is named Jihad. That's very interesting.
Yeah, they're looking at conspiracy charges because they had allowed this before. And a lot of campi, what they do, they will protect liberal speakers, although they don't generally need protection. But they will stand down when it comes to conservatives. And they actually allowed the supposed free speech zone in the entranceway to the event. So they had to go to a phalanx of violent protesters to get in the building. That's conspiracy, Erin.
Yeah, obviously there weren't adequate security protection set up. But something interesting about this whole fiasco, we actually just put an article about this last night, but the UC Berkeley chief of police who oversaw campus security was apparently also involved in the U.S. Capitol Police's intelligence operations during January 6th.
What?
So that's an article on our site right now.
On Daily Caller?
Yep, UC Berkeley's top cop in charge of campus chaos once oversaw botched Jan 6 intel.
Oh, my God, that is blockbuster. This is why I check out the Daily Caller every day. Oh, my God, this is so cool. That is fantastic. Final thoughts, got about another minute. What do you think about this this shutdown? The Republican Party, and I've been around longer than you, girl, but the Republican Party finally showed some stones and did not capitulate on the threats from Democrats and the extortion attempt. What are your thoughts?
It seems to me that both sides kind of didn't really get what they wanted out of it.
Okay.
Like the base of the Democrats, the progressives are very, very angry and are trying to oust Chuck Schumer. But then also, our senior editor, Amber Duke, actually pointed this out in her newsletter, how the shutdown deal, it sort of doesn't really enable them to fire all these thousands of bureaucrats that Russ Vought, the OMB director, really wanted to do. So, I mean, it definitely could have been worse. And it's good that we finally got this resolved.
Yes.
But I still think Republicans are kind of like not being as aggressive as they need to be.
Well, it is a process, not an event, Erin. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
Erin, I appreciate you. Thank you for being on the show today. I've enjoyed the conversation. Where can people see you on social media? Obviously, Daily Caller, but where else can people find your glorious work?
Yeah, definitely Twitter. I write occasionally, but I'm mostly editing and working with our other reporters now.
Excellent.
But yeah, definitely check out our site, become a Patriot subscriber. We just launched our Substack recently. It's called State of the Day, so you can go there for all exclusive content and all of our newsletters.
Excellent. Yeah. Great to talk to you. Best to you, and if I don't talk to you before Thanksgiving, a very blessed Thanksgiving to you and yours, okay?
Thank you. You as well, Rob. Thanks
all right.
so much.
Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. All right, let's see who's watching. Watching my glorious, handsome face. What's going on? T. Willis says, divorce sucks. I had to start my life over at age 40. Yeah, me too. But there's nothing I can do about it. Who's sick here? Somebody sick? BF05, I hope you're okay. You have an appointment with an oncologist, but you don't have cancer. God bless you. We'll be praying for you. For sure. My son is going to the doctor. He may have pancreatitis. Please say a prayer for my son, Will. Stressful days. I had a really very rough week this week, guys, but things have really turned for the better. They have, thankfully. Mickey Hastings, hello. DHS Secretary Noam, what are you talking about up there? Took a while to millions of self-deporters, I heard. Yeah, I know, it's cool. Who else is watching over here? America Marcy, Christ is King. I saw a guy with a T-shirt last night, and it said something like, Christ is back, or something like that, and I said, you got it, Anyway, Mickey Hastings, hello. Claudia Anderson, what's going on? Someone needs to tell Bianca de la Garza that her hair looks terrible. What are you talking about? She's hot. You get off my girlfriend. Bianca de la Garza, who wouldn't give me the time of day, even if I tried. But you can fantasize. She's spectacular. I have a major crush on Bianca de la Garza. Don't tell her I said that. No, please do, actually. Oh, I got to talk.
In about 3.5 minutes.
Okay. This is .ev. And it never will be. This song is called 1,000 Horsepower by Godsmack. I had a story about an EV manufacturer going out of business. I want Tesla to stick around. They make pretty cool cars. They do. They make cars cool, even if they are electric. They make cool cars. But there's a lot of other posers out there that put electric motors in, like the Ford Mustang. Oh my God, the Ford Mustang. What a piece of crap that is. The new Ford Mustang EV, it looks like a crossover. I mean, oh my God, what a mistake. And of course the F-150 Lightning, if you have one, good luck selling it. good luck selling it, because it's an EV pickup truck. I want to play a song parody for you, because Donald Trump is talking about sending a lot of people $2,000 checks with this surplus coming in from the tariffs. So Jim Gossett did this for us, and you'll only hear it on the Rob Carson Show.
The tariffs are really something. Much better than I planned.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
So I'll tell you something.
What's that?
I'm sending out $2,000.
What?
I'm sending out $2,000. I'm sending out $2,000.
Oh, yeah, sure, why not? What the hell?
And when I send it, I'll feel happy inside. It gives your president real joy. I can't hide. I can't hide. I can't hide.
This is pretty tight.
The tariffs have brought in billions. Enough to beat the band.
Pay off the debt.
Soon it could reach the trillions. I'm sending you $2,000. You're gonna get $2,000. You're gonna get $2,000. I'm sending out $2,000.
Trying to do a little background vocals there. I need a little work on the Beatles. I haven't done some Beatles in a while. But anyway, there he's talking about sending $2,000 for everybody for the tariffs. The Dow was $48,000, over a $48,000 all-time record. Everybody was convinced that the tariffs are going to destroy everything. But here, just explain it to you, make it easy for you to understand. We were getting screwed. We were getting bent over, and the world was having their way with us. Now, if you're a Democrat, you're cool with it. But no, not the rest of us. Not too crazy about that. So Donald Trump said, we're going to give it right back to you. And then I'm going to use tariffs to, bring peace to the Middle East and bring peace between countries like India and Pakistan, prevent a nuclear war. It's amazing, isn't it? It is amazing. It is just amazing. All right, let's take a break and come back. Last hour of the Rob Carson Show is right ahead. If I were you, I wouldn't go anywhere.
right now.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show, hour number 3 of the show. We are on radio stations around the country, and of course we are also streaming on all NEWSMAX social media. You can see the show. You're right. If you're watching right now, you're seeing my very handsome face wearing a black t-shirt with a nice background. Because this is kind of what I feel comfortable in. I'm never going to be the kind of guy who likes to wear a tie and a suit on. You know, I have no problem with dressing up. I like dressing up. I do. I enjoy clothing. I enjoy being able to fit in clothing like I do now. But I do not particularly care to dress up a suit and a tie. If I had to do that every day, I would go crazy. I was doing my TV show, Rob Carson's What in the World, which, by the way, this Sunday is really funny. Really funny this weekend. If you've seen the show, you know what it's like. And I made a few adjustments. We're adding some things. We're gonna dress it up a little. It'll give a little facelift like Nancy Pelosi. But this weekend show is really funny. And it's Sunday nights at 8:30 following Michael Savage, where you would expect to find a comedy show. Sure. Anyway, but you can watch it there. You can. It's on N2, NEWSMAX 2 as well. But it is a very funny show. Donald Trump says it makes me the funniest guy on television. He told me personally. And for a while there, I decided when I moved to D.C. I'd wear a tie and do the show. When you wear a tie, you talk like you're wearing a tie. You can't be funny like you would normally. You're not loose, right? Okay. So the same reason I don't do a show at a standing desk. Because when you project on the radio, you sound like you're standing. You understand what I'm talking about. Trust me on this. You just sound like you're standing. You're not relaxed. You're not cool. You're better off sitting without a suit on. So I do wear a jacket and a shirt. I just put the tie away. And the tie wasn't working for me. So whatever. Take it or leave it. I don't care. Let's see. Stephen Miller on the shutdown that ended yesterday.
This shutdown was an example of just how little the Democrats care about Americans. They forced our national security workers to go without pay.
And they did it because it was just the next thing. It was the next whatever they could cobble together to impact or hurt Donald Trump, to possibly hurt his economy going to the fourth quarter. On top of last week, they were fuming about the White House getting torn down, and then before that it was no kings, and before that it was Elon Musk as a Nazi, and before that it was Signalgate, and before that it was no oligarchs.
They forced Americans to be stuck at airports, flights.
And the Epstein files. We'll get to that in a second.
Canceled at levels never seen before in history. Why? All for what? $1.5 trillion of demands, including free health care for illegal aliens, to bloat the government, to steal from taxpayers, to steal from working Americans. And at the end, after over 40 days, what did they get? Nothing. Defeated, humiliated, disgraced.
I know. I think that's cool. That's one of the best things about it. Because we had to, for 9 years, go through absolute hell. Being told that we were conspiracy theorists and white supremacists, and Joe Biden even stood in front of Independence Hall, said we were MAGA fascists and enemies of democracy, and then we had to watch our presidential candidate, our hero, Donald Trump, sit there behind Letitia James' fat butt in court. No, actually, her fat butt was sitting right behind Donald Trump in court, and she was smirking because she knew she didn't have anything on it, but she was able to cobble together some charges. And then we had to sit through all of that, the indignity of all of that crap. Absolutely ridiculous. I got a comment here. Let me find it. This is Alan Dershowitz. Dershowitz talking last night. He was talking on the Piers Morgan show. I don't get to watch the show, but here is Piers Morgan last night. He was sitting on a panel with a bunch of liberals. And by the way, he's a liberal. You know I've had Alan on the show before, and we have great friends. I always tell him I want to get together and break hollow with you, my friend. But here's what he had to say about Tish James. This is a liberal.
Tish James ran for office. Yes. The only time I've ever heard a prosecutor do this since Stalin's time, on the claim of, I'm going to get Trump. No matter what he did, I haven't done any research, I haven't looked at it, but my campaign is get Trump. Yeah. And she tried to get him in every way. She tried to invent crimes she couldn't find. Finally, she went after him civilly. Then they went after him criminally. I have never seen a weaker criminal case in my 60 years of practicing law than this miraculous
it was another indignity heaped upon us. We had to go through this for years.
Version of a misdemeanor, which was time barred, into a felony based on multiple choice. In 60 years, I have never seen a worse criminal case, than the one against.
Yeah, we had like 4 of those cases we had to watch, and then they tried to take him off the ballot and then tried to murder him a couple times. So every time that the Democrats lose like they did last night, I'm going to rub it in their faces. It's just so glorious. But they tried, they tried a bunch of things last night. They decided they were going to unleash some Epstein files last night. And, there was all sorts of Epstein stuff. There was nothing there. There was no there. They released a couple of files. Here's Tim Burchett. I'll just share Tim Burchett. He's one of my heroes now, talking about what they released last night.
Is upcoming bill to release the Epstein files?
Yeah, that's why I just put a bill up. I just tried to move it ahead because what you're seeing right now is what exactly is going to happen, going to continue happening. Everybody's going to pull little piecemeal portions. Sorry about that. I got to animate. I'm Southern Baptist. They're going to pull portions of it out, and they're going to try to fit their own little narrative. Both sides are going to do it. You all know it. You're all going to feed upon it. Let's just get the dadgum bill out. Let's vote it out, and the Democrats oppose me on it. It's stupid. It's all about politics. It's not about taking care of young ladies who got abused, and we should take care of them. But there's a process in place. The Democrats have had it for 4 years. Didn't do a dadgum thing. And you know if Trump was in that thing, Biden, the rest, and Kamala Harris, he's the Antichrist to them. They would have already had it out.
They would have already had it out. They would have had it out because, they did everything else. They did 91, indictments and 4 trials and trying to take him off the ballot and then trying to murder him a couple times and 2 impeachments. Didn't work, and they had all the information on the Epstein files when Joe Biden was president. If they would have had anything, they would have used it. They would have used it, but they didn't. Jasmine Crockett, the dim wit, she's unbelievable. She was on CNN last night trying to hint that, Donald Trump's son Epstein, Joseph, they done Epstein, and then they call her out.
This is an email from April 2nd, 2011. Republicans are saying that victim is Virginia Giuffre. As you know, she died by suicide. She's been very
the name is out there. They just said the name.
A very outspoken victim of Jeffrey Epstein. Here's the email right here on your screen. She wrote a book, as you know, and she did not accuse him of any wrongdoing. What do you make of that, and can you confirm that?
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, it's redacted who the victim is.
No. The name is Virginia Jeffrey. She just said it.
So I won't necessarily take the Republicans' word on who it is that's redacted.
No. Everybody knows who it was. So.
And I don't know why they would necessarily redact someone's name who
it's not redacted. It's right there.
Is deceased at this point.
The Democrats did that, though. The Democrats redacted.
No. I understand, but I'm just saying,
Here she distracts because she's an idiot.
Our biggest concern is to actually make sure that we are protecting victims, and obviously...
Oh, my God. What a dodge. Duck, dodge, and dodge. Yeah, just like the movie Dodgeball. Here is Caroline Levin talking about that.
These emails prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong. And what President Trump has always said is that he was from Palm Beach.
They whipped this out last night because Donald Trump kicked their butts on the opening of the federal government.
And so was Jeffrey Epstein.
It's an act of desperation.
Jeffrey Epstein was a member
like a date with me
at Mar-a-Lago until President Trump kicked him out because Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile and he was a creep.
Yeah.
And this email you refer to with the name of a victim that was unredacted now and has since been reported on.
Yeah, her name is Virginia Giuffre.
In this room, so I will go ahead and say it. Virginia Giuffre. And it was CBS's own reporting, Ouija, that recently wrote that Miss Giuffre maintained, and God rest her soul, that she maintained that there was nothing inappropriate she ever witnessed, that President Trump was always extremely professional and friendly to her. And so I think it's a question worth asking the Democrat Party, and you should all go ask them after this briefing, of why they chose to redact that name of a victim who has already publicly made statements about her relationship with Jeffrey.
Because they wanted to use innuendo as a weapon, and it didn't work, because they're evil. You know what's really sad is that poor woman, what she went through, and then she killed herself. That was her life. Nobody thinks about her. Abused, ruined. Her entire life was that, and then it ended it. Sickening. But it's kind of weird because there's only one person who wanted to suppress the story. Yeah, only one person. His name's Bill.
New details this morning. Hundreds of new pages have been unsealed in a lawsuit connected to convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
The victim alleges that former President Clinton...
didn't he have a penchant for young women, like much like less than half of his age and stuff like that? I guess he did something with an intern. It involves staining a dress.
Vanity Fair not to run a story...
And a cigar, but,
...story on Epstein. The pages also shed new light on how Epstein's victims were recruited and what happened to them. CNN's Gene Cesaris joins us now. And, Gene, we're talking about 900 pages.
This is a story from last year.
So there's a lot to go through. What new details have come out?
Well, they came out last night, combing through them. And, this all stems from a 2015 civil suit.
I believe also Jeffrey Epstein had a picture of Bill Clinton in a blue dress. And also Bill Clinton flew on the Lolita Express like 25 times and sometimes didn't have the Secret Service.
Brought by Virginia Giuffre.
Not saying he wasn't being serviced, but not by the Secret Service.
Against Ghislaine Maxwell. And Virginia Giuffre had wanted her story to come out. She wanted a book. And so she became very close with a reporter out of Britain. And this reporter was encouraging her to go to the Vanity Fair magazine to have them do an article on it.
And who stopped it?
And here is what, in a newly undisclosed email from 2011, here is what Virginia Giuffre says. She says, considering that B. Clinton walked into VF, Vanity Fair, and threatened them not to write sex trafficking articles about his good friend, J.E., Jeffrey Epstein, so she didn't want to do it.
I just feel bad for her. I really do. That a young woman would go through this. And so many women this has happened to. It happened to when our southern border was open. Hundreds of thousands of young women traded for sex. It really is thoroughly disgusting. And I pray for her. I'm really sad for her. I'm sorry to bring it to there, but that's how I'm going to have to end this segment. Because of all the other talk and everything, and all of the truth will come out, and the Democrat Party bringing this up and using it as a political cudgel at the end of a failed government shutdown is just disgusting. But I don't want her name to be forgotten. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hey guys, it's Carson for WebRoot Total Protection. Hey guys, it's Carson for Get Fresh Olive Oil. I eat olive oil every day. I got rid of seed oils years ago. Life is too short to not have wonderful fresh olive oil, and I mean fresh. Olive oil packs the most flavor and healthy ingredients when it's fresh from the farm. And that's the problem with supermarket olive oils. They're not fresh. They can sit on the shelf for months growing stale. That's why I get my olive oil from small, award-winning farms, thanks to a fellow named T.J. Robinson, also known as the Olive Oil Hunter. When I tasted TJ Farms' fresh olive oils, I fell in love with their vibrant, grassy flavors. They're incredibly delicious on salad, veggies, pasta, meat, fish, you name it. And as an introduction to his Fresh Pressed Olive Oil Club, TJ is willing to send you a full-size $39 bottle of one of the world's finest artisanal olive oils, fresh from the new harvest, for just $1 to help him cover shipping. There's no commitment to buy anything now or later. Get your free $39 bottle for just $1 and taste the difference freshness makes. Go to GetFreshRobCarson.com. That's GetFreshRobCarson.com for a free bottle and pay just $1 shipping. GetFreshRobCarson.com.
I'm going to demand a drug test here. I am. No, I really am.
If Joe had to pee in a bottle, if to a drug test he'd submit would prove that he's been shot up with drugs and that he's completely unfit. If Joe had to pee in a bottle, would we find some of Hunter's cocaine, Adderall, some caffeine and a handful of uppers to stimulate Joe's feeble brain. I would bet a lot of dough if they tested Sleepy Joe, then he'd fail. If Joe had to debate and he had to do it straight, then he'd bail.
He's going to be so jacked up for those debates you watch.
Joe would fail.
Today, when Trump, Meloni talk, they are called a threat to democracy. This is the left's double standard.
Italy elected Giorgia Meloni. A real conservative, no, she isn't a phony. Paper ballots, voter ID. No cheat by mail in Italy. If we ran elections like Italians do, a same-day vote, the count is true, we'd be solid red without a trace of blue. Things will change under Giorgia Meloni. Unlike Mitch, she's not full of baloney. She ran on God and family, making her country legal free. Italy's moving to the right. Georgia's not afraid to fight. Italian people, they have seen the light.
We're eating pickles from the dollar store, hot pockets from the Dollar General, chicken wings expired yesterday. We're eating pickles from the dollar store, hot pockets from the Dollar General, chicken wings expired yesterday.
In January, and it's November. And then it kind of sat there for a couple days, and then Monday came around, it was $4,000. Then yesterday is $4,100. Now it's $4,200. Might want to get on that gold train. Gold thrives in times of uncertainty, and central banks are buying up gold. The American dollar is not what it used to. It's not worth what it's supposed to be because of all the spending and the debt. So gold is precious, and it's becoming more precious. And it should be obvious. The precious. You might want to get some of the precious into your portfolio. And right now, you can get more of the precious for every $20,000 that you invest in Birch Gold. Free gold sent to your home. Thank you very much. Delivered by a little man who talks like this. No, he doesn't actually. It'll come in a package and it'll be secure and all that. Or you can just have it deposited in your account. Text my name, Rob. Gollum will not come to your house. Text my name, Rob, to 9898. Not associated with Gollum. Rob to 989898 to claim your eligibility for a free info kit on gold and your opportunity to get free gold with every $20,000 purchase. That ends November the 30th. Don't wait. Text Rob to 989898 and you could have gold delivered to your shire. That was a twisted analogy. This is Joe Rogan talking about the possibility of a civil war. And more importantly, he's talking about the descent of the Democrat Party into blackness. I mean, darkness beyond belief.
Charlie Kirk gets shot and people are celebrating. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. You want people to die that you disagree with? Like, where are we right now on the scale of 1 to Civil War? Where are we? Are we at 7? Because I thought we were at 5. I thought we were like 4 or 5. But after the Charlie Kirk thing, I'm like, oh, we might be like 7. This might be like step 7 on the way to a bona fide civil war.
No.
As soon as you start like regular people celebrating somebody getting murdered in front of their wife and kid on television in front of the whole world, as soon as you celebrate that, like, man, you're in dark territory.
Yeah.
You're in dark territory. And if the worst thing you could say about that guy is that he said some things I disagree with, and you're celebrating that he got shot in the neck in front of the world, whoa, and you work at an insurance company? This is nuts. And you thought it was okay to say that on Instagram? This is nuts.
Yeah, this is Joe Rogan.
This is nuts.
This is Joe Rogan from a couple of years ago. And I saved this quote because I think it's pretty powerful because he's an atheist and a liberal.
Why? Like, what is that?
What is it?
And why is it so obvious to even a completely secular person like me all of a sudden? There's a reason for that. History is moving really, really fast. We're right in the middle of it.
I was having a conversation in the green room of the club the other night about this guy from Canada that's HIV positive, that's a trans woman, that's taking hormones so they can breastfeed their 9-month-old daughter. So a biological male is taking hormones and is now breastfeeding. And I said, if I was Satan, if Satan was real, I would do that. And unfortunately, a lot of very intelligent people, they dismiss all of the positive aspects of religion because they think that the stories are mere superstitious fairy tales, that, they have no place in this modern world, and, we're inherently good and your ethics are based on your own moral compass and we all have one. And that's not necessarily true. We need Jesus.
Wow.
I think for real. Like, if he came back now, it'd be great. Like, Jesus, if you're thinking about coming back right now, now's a good time.
Pretty soon. Yeah.
Now's a good time.
Yeah. I don't like to proselytize. I certainly am not a Bible banger. I couldn't tell you a full Bible verse from memory. But there's something happening. I told you about this. Last year, and it's happening. TPUSA has had 100,000 inquiries to start chapters. And I was talking to somebody on the phone, a fan of the show today, and he said that they make it TPW, TP World, not just TPUSA. And it's happening. Last night, the defeat of the Democrats and them spiraling into hell with their negativity, disappointed that suffering didn't continue. There's something wrong. And when they celebrated Charlie Kirk's death, you're going to want to repent. And if you don't, then we'll just march past you, because nothing good is coming of the direction you're going. Nothing good on this earth and nothing after this life. I'm just going to tell you. Overwhelm them with joy and patriotism. And if they try to beat you down, overwhelm them with force. If they try to strike you, then you strike them. But we are going to overwhelm them with joy and patriotism and love and faith. There you go. Ben Weingarten, senior contributor, the Federalist, editor-at-large at Real Clear Investigations, joins us next. Don't go anywhere. Hey guys, it's Carson. Forget fresh olive oil. I eat olive oil every day. I got rid of seed oils years ago. Life is too short to not have wonderful fresh olive oil, and I mean fresh. Olive oil packs the most flavor and healthy ingredients when it's fresh from the farm. And that's the problem with supermarket olive oils. They're not fresh. They can sit on the shelf for months growing stale. That's why I get my olive oil from small, award-winning farms, thanks to a fellow named T.J. Robinson, also known as the Olive Oil Hunter. When I tasted TJ Farms' fresh olive oils, I fell in love with their vibrant, grassy flavors. They're incredibly delicious on salad, veggies, pasta, meat, fish, you name it. And as an introduction to his Fresh Pressed Olive Oil Club, TJ is willing to send you a full-size $39 bottle of one of the world's finest artisanal olive oils, fresh from the new harvest, for just $1 to help him cover shipping. There's no commitment to buy anything now or later. Get your free $39 bottle for just $1 and taste the difference freshness makes. Go to GetFreshRobCarson.com. That's GetFreshRobCarson.com for a free bottle and pay just $1 shipping. GetFreshRobCarson.com.
Going to go down. It went the exact opposite with the biggest increase of healthcare in any country. It's a disaster. And I'm calling today for insurance companies not to be paid, but for the money, this massive amount of money, to be paid directly to the people of our country so that they can buy their own health care, which will be far better and far less expensive than the disaster known as Obamacare. And I've had, I think, great support. I've even had Democrat support.
I know.
So we want the money that would be going to the insurance company, which is hundreds of billions of dollars, You know, their stock prices have gone up by 1,000% in many cases, 1,000% over a short period of time, because our country stupidly pays them so much money with this.
Yeah, it's amazing, the cabal of big healthcare, big insurance, big vaccine, all of that, and increasingly giving more money to Democrats, all of them. It is remarkable. I like to say that the left exposes its flanks so we can kick its ass, and this has happened in a number of occasions. With this shutdown, that happened. Among other things. Also, the SNAP benefits and what a gigantic scam that's been. 40% more enrollees, illegals, 53% of them illegally on it, and it was all exposed because of this government shutdown. So the Democrat Party tries some nonsense, the shutdown. It's the next thing. The shutdown was the next thing after all the other bullcrap they've done this year, and it imploded on them. It exploded in their faces, just like that, that Acme, explosive device that Wile E. Coyote ordered online. Senior editor of the Federalist and editor-at-large at Real Clear Investigations, Ben Weingarten, joins us on the NEWSMAX hotline. How are you, brother?
I'm well. Thanks for having me, Rob.
Yeah, man. So what do you think about this, the shutdown, the results last night? For the first time in my adult life that I've been following politics, we had the Republicans not crumble. What are your thoughts afterwards?
Yeah, shocking development. The Democrats resembled what Republicans have often looked like historically in how they played this. Look, I think at the end of the day, in some ways, what you saw from the Democrats was a temper tantrum. Yeah. They're in the minority. They can't handle it. They had no leverage. They were playing a definitional losing hand. And so, consequently, 43 days in, they gain nothing. There is nothing that they obtain in some kind of deal with the Republicans here. It's just like it was if you roll back the calendar 43 days, except for, I guess, they can say that the Republican-led Congress was not able to advance the ball, advance the agenda on the MAGA mandate for this time. So maybe the Democrats would say that's a win, but what this was, of course, in reality, is that they have a party that is held hostage by its left wing. Yeah. The left wing will ultimately dominate the Democrat Party if it hasn't already, and it arguably has already. And that's why you had Chuck Schumer playing what was a definitional losing hand, because he is deadly afraid of being ousted by AOC. And the same goes for the rest of leadership. So this is an inter-party battle between an establishment that is dying and the ascendant young Turks within their party. And it's only going to take a few more cycles before it's out with the old and in with the new. It should be disastrous for the party, and it will be disastrous for the constituents that they represent. And we just dealt with one little illustration of it in a very significant 43-day shutdown.
Yeah, I was watching Hugh Hewitt. Hugh Hewitt is a sage, and he was talking about the shutdown and the emergence of these young Turks. You ever see the movie Blade? You ever see that? Remember where the young vampire goes in and gives the old vampires a little wet fur and then opens the window, and the old vampire, it's kind of like what happened to Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. But here is Hugh Hewitt talking about...
now Nancy Pelosi now Nancy will be retiring, and she'll be an incredible hedge fund manager.
But no, she'll be able to go live in that gingerbread house and get children and fatten them up and stick them in an oven.
I think it's going to be AOC. I would say Mamdani, except he's not eligible to run in 2028. I don't think it's going to be Cory Booker. He just gets louder. He doesn't make more sense.
Yeah.
AOC's got more sparkle. President Trump acknowledges that she's got a lot of charisma. Her ideas will not work, though. The Democratic Party is quickly becoming the Democrat Socialist Party with elections in New York and in Seattle, and these lefties are going to draw the Democrats into an unelectable position. The Electoral College is not moving in their direction. President Trump and J.D. Vance have made the Republican Party the centrist party now, as well as the Conservative Party, and the left is just taking over the Democrats. It's not going to work for them, but a leftist will lead the Democratic ticket like McGovern did in 72. We'll get a left-winger in 2020.
Yeah, that's what I think. A lot of people are concerned about the young Turks taking over the country, but there are too many of us old Turks who, honestly, it's an 80-20 issue. Socialism versus, Democrats and Republicans is an 80-20 issue. What do you think?
Well, absolutely. They take 80-20 or 90-10 on the wrong side stances a whole slew of issues. And all you have to do, look no further than Joe Biden's presidency. I mean, there's I think, a compelling argument that Joe Biden was infinitely more radical than Barack Obama was in terms of his policies.
Well, yeah.
Now, that's not because he, by himself, by his own nature, is or was, as we know, he was pretty much a mainstream Democrat who maybe had no ideological convictions and just wanted power for most of his career. However,
he had pudding for brains. He was a puppet, dude. He was Barack Obama. Joe Biden was the puppet. That was it. He did what Barack Obama was unable to do when Barack Obama was president, but it's the moist romantic dream of the class of 1968. And he was able to do it because he had an auto pin and a guy who had pudding for brains in the White House.
It was Barack Obama on steroids, and Barack Obama paved that path, no doubt. But the Democrats realized they still needed a front man who had the appearance of being at least somewhat rational. I think that all bets are off in terms of 2028. I think that is gone. The Democrat Party will not tolerate a figure like that. I mean, we'll sit back and have popcorn watching Gavin Newsom go up against AOC, et cetera, and that battle that's about to ensue. But that said, it's still incumbent upon Republicans to make a compelling populist, nationalist, MAGA message to appeal to the lower propensity voters that Donald Trump was able to drive out to vote in record numbers. And I do think to that point that the Virginia and New Jersey elections, while they are not necessarily going to tell us how the midterms are going to go or what 2028 is going to look like, they are a cautionary tale about the fact that you need to drive home the MAGA message and you need to appeal to those constituents who came out for Donald Trump, because he will not be on the ticket in 2026, effectively, or in 2028.
Yes.
And so that is a cautionary tale for the Republicans.
Well, we need to really focus on being able to get the message out in the vacuum of the media, because they're going to continue the overwhelmingly negative messaging about Donald Trump. They're trying to convince people that the economy is terrible when it's not compared to Joe Biden. They covered up Joe Biden's terrible economy. So they're going to have to figure out a way. And I think that the lies they're telling are being drowned out by the success of the administration. But it doesn't mean there's not a battle. Ben, can you hold on through the break? I've got a bunch of other things I'd like to cover on the other side, if you don't mind.
Sure thing.
All right, Ben Weingarten, the editor-at-large at Real Clear Investigations, senior contributor to The Federalist, back in a moment on The Rob Carson Show.
p.m.
that yeast
and
infection.
99.9 FM in Harford County.
Here we go.
One of the funniest moments in any cabinet meeting, President Trump had them bring in a full-size picture of himself with Putin. And when they were in Hawaii, and he's very tall, and Putin was very short, Putin came up to about here, and he said, you know what I said to him? He said, I've had it up to here with you. Okay.
I remember that.
Yeah. That is fantastic. Donald Trump said to Vladimir Putin, I've had it up to here with you. That is just fantastic. The guy has a sense of humor. Ben Weingarten, things are never going to be the same when Donald Trump is out of office. We've never seen anything like this, have we?
Never seen anything like it. We'll never see another figure like it again, and he will be impossible to replicate.
I know. He had a guy. I don't have it in front of me. There was someone in the Middle Eastern leader in the White House yesterday, and he was sharing his Donald Trump cologne. And he said to the guy, he said, try this, your wife might like it, or your wives. And the guy goes, no, only one wife. Trump goes, well, with you guys, I never know. And the left got all bent out of shape out of it. And I just think it's funny. I think it's just freaking hilarious. This is the kind of humor that the left is censored, and they, everybody gets so butthurt about whatever words we've been using, or maybe you might insult somebody, or you might offend somebody. And I just think I think it's glorious. I do, Ben. I think it's glorious.
The left is entirely humorless. They want everyone to walk on eggshells at all times. And I think the two traits that enrage them the most about Trump are, one, his sense of humor, and it's undeniable, and two, the courage, the ability to take all the swings and arrows, literally take bullets, and that toughness and that willingness to fight them, to duke it out with them, is something that they really hate him for, because they have not encountered a comparable figure like that.
Well, look what happened with the No Kings protests, these idiotic No Kings protests. And what they really wanted to do, what the left wants to do, is they want to convince the world that their numbers are so overwhelming that Donald Trump will have to leave via helicopter from the roof of the White House, when it's all bought and paid for. And what did Donald Trump do? He puts up a meme with him flying a fighter jet, dumping feces on them.
And
who does
they
that?
Can't meme. They can't meme either. So it really, these are supposed to be the masters of optics and messaging, and they just cannot compete.
Oh, my God, it is just so fun to watch. It's just so fun to watch. Donald Trump says, and I think one of the positives that's going to come out of this entire thing is the fixing of Obamacare. That's an amazing thing that we've seen it being completely exposed. We've even had Democrats say that it is a piece of crap. And here is Donald Trump saying the quiet part out loud, which he is more than willing. And I got to tell you, people are ticked about this. They know how much health care has cost, and is costing them right now. None of the promises have been fulfilled.
So I'm always willing to work with anyone, including the other party. We'll work on something having to do with health care. We can do a lot better. We can do great. So much money is involved, and we're willing to pay so much money to the people. So we're going to pay a lot of money to the people. They're going to go out and buy their own health care, and we're going to forget this Obamacare madness.
I remember the night Obamacare passed. It was 2010. I was in Washington, D.C. I was going to a gathering, and I sat in the car and listened to Congress vote against the will of the American people and voted in, and I was crestfallen, and I knew it was going to happen, and it happened, and insurance companies made billions of dollars. But do you feel like I think this shutdown was a turning point, not as profound as the turning point of Charlie Kirk being murdered, but I think this could be the beginning and maybe of the ebb of the temper tantrum of the left. I could be wrong. What do you think?
First of all, I shared your sentiments when Obamacare was rammed through roughshod over the will of the American people. I felt that the country had fundamentally changed that day, which is, of course, what Barack Obama wanted with his quote-unquote signature piece of legislation. And here we are 15 years later dealing with, Democrats talk about a crisis in healthcare. The crisis in healthcare is and was Obamacare. And they want to throw more good money after bad by building up these bigger and better subsidies for years to come. And ultimately, it is unsustainable. It's going to crash. It's going to be disastrous for the health and well-being of the American people. And so this is an opportunity here. Now, you've got to factor in the politics of the midterm elections and how does that all factor into what is to come. But the bottom line is that to the extent that the Republican Party and led by the Trump administration can push for a more patient-centered, which of course means a more free market-oriented healthcare system where we pay for healthcare just like we do for every other good or service, that would take power out of the hands of these big concentrated power centers, including the massive and heavily regulated, and I think they enjoy being heavily regulated because they get all the benefits from it, health insurance companies, and we can actually have something approximating a free market healthcare system that will be the envy of the world and will provide for
they're going to have to compete with each other.
It is a massive opportunity.
Ben, they're going to have to compete with each other, and it's about damn time because we clearly see that by just paying the insurance companies, their stocks have gone up 1,000%. Premiums have gone up 400%. I went to get insurance for myself now that I'm divorced, unfortunately. $900 a month. So it means about $12,000 a year for me with a $7,000 deductible. It's like buying liability insurance for your car.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I know, man, it's stupid. It's stupid.
It's absolutely crazy. Why shouldn't we be able to pay for the services that we need when we need it? You have catastrophic coverage, essentially. And you should be able to see the actual price of what you're paying for on a menu.
Amen, brother.
This fake system that we have today that built stuff.
Ben, great to talk to you, bro. Where can people find all of your glorious work, man?
Yep, you can find me on X at BH Weingarten and via my Substack at weingarten.substack.com.
All right, bro. We'll talk again soon. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Let's talk, kids. Had a nice religious discussion over on the YouTube page from Kevin. Kevin writing some cool things, inspirational things, sharing a religious message with us, and we appreciate that. And like I said, I don't like to proselytize. I don't like to Bible bang, but I do have a deep and resounding faith. It needs to be stronger. It's like a muscle. You got to kind of exercise it every day. And sometimes I forget to work out. Who's watching over on the Rumbly Roo? Scarecrow 2, proud to be a Jew. That rhymed, didn't it? Round to Pody. And Valentina. Hello, Valentina. I think I just got a friendship request from Valentina on Facebook. I could be wrong. I don't know many Valentinas. Janine Page. Hello, Tom K. What up? Glad to have you joining me today. Prani Yuprachat and Dale Arsenault on Facebook. Hope you're enjoying the show today. I'm enjoying the show today. And there's a lot of good things happening, a lot of things we got to constantly be resolute on. Most importantly, I'm tired of living in darkness. I'm tired of living under the thumb of leftists who are so profoundly negative and awful, and they killed Charlie Kirk, and that was it. I'm not going to live that way anymore. Was it The Prince of Darkness is a song by the Indigo Girls. This traces of the dark, and I will not feel the moment I will not catch a spark. Anyway, look it up. It's a pretty good song. Ooh, I like this song. It's called Imani Coppola did this song about 1998. And it's called Legend of the Cowgirl. It's a really good song. It's a one-hit wonder for her, unfortunately. Imani Coppola. I want to play something before I depart today. And I wanted to say something. This isn't I'm not being paid to do this, okay? I haven't slept well for 2 years. I get up every night at 2, 4, 6. Finally, at about 6, I just say, screw it, I'm up. I write Substack, I do show prep, and I got this stuff called Beams Dream Powder. And I had it in just a glass of milk, and it was this chocolate flavored, a brownie batter flavor, and it's really good. So 2 nights ago I tried it, slept pretty good. Last night I did it before bed, and I was watching this. By the way, Frankenstein on Netflix is freaking fantastic treatment, original treatment of the Frankenstein story. Boom! And I'm wide awake, and I'm watching, and all of a sudden I go, and I wake up, and I'm a half an hour later, and I turn off the light, and for the first time in 2 years, sunlight woke me up. I looked at the clock thinking it's 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and it was the light from my computer. No. It was the light coming through the shades at 7. And it's not a paid endorsement. I tried it. Beams Dream Powder. That's all I'll tell you right now. Because like I said, they aren't, this is an official endorsement, but it worked. This is Jack Osborne and the Osborne family talking about what Donald Trump did after Ozzy died.
I mean, should we play the voicemail?
Yeah.
Not saying who it's from. Everyone will know.
Hi, Sharon. It's Donald Trump, and I just wanted to wish you the best and the family of great. Ozzy was amazing. He was an amazing guy. I met him a few times, and I want to tell you, he was unique in every way and talented. So I just wanted to wish you the best, and it's a tough thing. I know how close you were, and whatever I can do, take care of yourself. Say hello to the family. Thanks. Bye.
Wow.
Love him or hate him, he didn't have to call and leave a voicemail.
Listen, when it comes to politics, we know nobody comes out a winner.
That is the Osborne family. When I came home from my mother's funeral, the following Monday, there was an email from Donald Trump in my email box. He just watches my show on NEWSMAX. It was a personal email. He knew my mother's name. It was a personal email from him. And I'm nothing compared to Ozzy Osbourne. That he would take that time is pretty remarkable. So if you hate him, I don't care. There you go. He's a good and decent man. He's doing a great job for the country. And the left is doing a death spiral into hell. There you go. I had fun today. Did you have fun today? My God in heaven, what a show. Hey, have a glorious day. By the grace of God, tomorrow is finally Friday. God bless you, Donald Trump. The country is founded. And until tomorrow, do not catch the stupid. See ya.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is NEWSMAX. It's real news for